somebody wants to text me on how to slow it, I'd be happy to do it. So tonight's a lot of stuff is gonna be said. And is there anybody loading into the room? It says 0. Can you see me? Hello?
I don't know.
Oh, we're okay. We're here. Okay, so you can see me. I want everybody to please be respectful to my guest. A lot of stuff's going to be said, and let's just start it. What, Cody?
I'm going to turn that light off.
Okay. Hi, Shelly.
Hey, John.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here and helping me. I don't even have the words. So to give everybody a little bit of background between me and Shelly, Shelly was actually one of my first Instagram followers when I started years ago. Like I think in 2018 or something like that. And yeah, and then we had a little bit of a miscommunication. And things went a little south between me and you. And I'm sorry that, I'm just sorry that what happened.
Yeah, I am too. And it's, and I'm glad we talked about it and got through it. So it's all good, John. It's all good.
And I am so grateful for you because for like the last year and a half, I've been being bamboozled by these people. And, it was always my word against theirs. Sometimes I'd have proof and, for the most part, the good people believed what I was saying. But, there's always naysayers that just don't want to believe anything you say. And Shelly came along and pretty much gave me all the proof I've been saying for the last 2 years. And I am eternally grateful for you. And I just want to let you know that you have the support of me, Cody, my moderators, my followers, and everybody else. So, because what you're doing.
I appreciate that. So I just want to say in terms of how this all began, I guess it's a couple days ago, I had a blowout with a group of people. I had it out and I learned that I was being deceived. And as a result, I confronted them and there was a huge blowout. And it was a lot to deal with. When you trust people and you think that they are doing you right, and then you learn differently, it's a shock. Obviously you've been through that. So what happened is that that happened, and I went to bed, and the next morning I woke up and I got a message from this Party City Wigs. And it said, hey, I just want you to know that John Yates is talking a bunch of shit about you. Sorry, I cussed. Bunch of crap about you. And
I know it might be hard to hear Shelly because she's on her phone and she has her volume up all the way.
Can you? Okay. Yes, I do.
But some people hear you fine. I'm sorry. It might be shut your TVs off if you have anything background noise on. Thank you, Christina. But before we get into that, how we started talking again was because I did do a live a few nights ago, and one of like somebody posing as you came in. And I
Mhm.
said, "Oh God, here comes Shelly again." You know, because obviously, if you know, me and Shelly have been, you know, at odds for like 3 years, over a stupid
You had,
miscommunication.
yeah, but you had mentioned my name, so
Right.
the timing of all of that was when I saw your live. Yeah, it was. I knew at that point that it was a result of my falling out with this group, and so
And
when I
then,
saw your live, I was not. I will tell you honestly, I was not. I wasn't offended. I was just like, oh God, I know what's going on now, and I need to nip this in the bud. And that's why I reached out to you to let you know that was definitely not me in the live. And so, as a result of me reaching out to you to nip this in the bud, you and I began talking, and we had a great conversation. And we were able to process and heal and apologize. And as a result, that's why we're here.
okay, so basically, how do we even start this? I don't know where we kind of start. House of Cards are coming down. Thank you, Jean. Where do we like? How do we start? How did you get involved in this group of people who have been like, you know, coming after us for a while? God, I hope you didn't
Right.
freeze. You look like you froze.
Right.
Okay.
Well, because I didn't like you. You know, and that was well known. I mean, that's been going on. I mean, you and I mean, it's been well known that I did not like you, right? So, as a result, Jen and I hooked up, and then Phil, and then that's kind of how it all started. So that's been going on for when I guess I reconciled with Jen because obviously Jen was one of the people that were coming after me when you and I had a falling out.
Right.
So Jen and I reconciled, and then of course then when you and Phil had a falling out, um that was just an easy transition. So that's how that all began. Does that make sense? Does that answer your
Yeah.
question?
So basically, when I fell out with Jen because she's a lunatic, she came to
Mm-hmm.
you, and I know that Jen ran to everybody who didn't like me and
Mm-hmm.
befriended them. All the people that she attacked mercilessly for years or months, she ran to, and they kind of built this platform on hate. So regardless of their feelings, these people have nothing in common. She reached out to everybody who hated me, just like Phil did. So, where do we go from here? How long who have you had been in contact with? We know Jen, we know Phil, Amber.
And Amber. Yeah.
Those are the three main people that you spoke with.
Those are the three main ones. At the beginning of the fallout, like when you had the fallout with Lydia, and then Lydia and Phil, Leda, whatever her name is, hooked up with Phil. Um, they were trying to get me to go live, and I wouldn't. So Lydia reached out to me to try to convince me to go live, and then she started having a conversation with me that didn't
So
go well.
what did Lita say to you?
Basically, she was like, "We really want you to go live and tell your truth," because I was telling Yahoo Boy or Phil no that I didn't want to go live with him regarding you. So so he was reaching out to people to reach out to me to try to convince me to go live. You understand?
We're
So
not
when
talking about
Lydia,
Jen Bailey. We're talking about Home Depot Jen, just so everybody's clear.
right,
Sorry, I see. I'm reading
right,
the comments.
right. We're talking about Home Depot Jen. So anyway, the conversation, the text, it wasn't a talk, it was DMs that Lydia was saying was she started going, why did you hate me? And blah, blah. And I was like, I don't even want to go there. Like, I don't like you. I've never liked you. I don't even want to talk to you. So immediately at the beginning of this, how long has this been going on? Like 9 months or 10 months? So,
well, as far as Home Depot goes, this is happening since January of 2020 when I left her home, and then Cody left her home a month after. So I've been dealing with Jen's insanity since the beginning of last year.
yes. And what I am referring to is when Lydia turned on you and started talking to Phil. That time point was whenever that was. So, at any rate, what my point is that I have never talked to Lydia or communicated with Lydia since then. We don't talk. We don't follow each other. We've never communicated. I don't like her. She knows that I don't like her. She doesn't like me. So the main people have been Phil, Jen, and then Amber, which, so this, she created.
And just so
she
we're
had
clear,
that problem.
so there's
Go
no.
ahead.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Because there's so many people with the same names. Amber is not Amber that used to work for Sherelle. We're talking about Amber Sherrington, who is actually the legal assistant for Joe Amamiya, whatever his name is, who was the person who was originally Jihoon's attorney. And Jihoon fired them because of unethical and harassment, whatever. Once I started posting about Jihoon firing them, they all turned on me. So Amber is Amber Sherrington. She works. She's on the payroll for this Joe guy, and she's been doing, while it's just so we're clear, while they were suing Devin for slander, this Amber person on this WeT account was posting nudes of Devin while under the employ of the attorney that was suing Devin for slander. And then she's been doing the same thing to me, posting horrible things about me, as you've seen in the posts. So
she's
just
nuts.
so we're clear, go ahead, Chel.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's nuts. So, so what happened was that she had this rise
Allegedly.
up. Yeah, yes, thank you. And I was communicating, she was communicating with me and I was communicating with her. And I didn't know it was her. So let me back up. The whole reason why that, so because all of these people that I was in contact with are involved in the lawsuit, and I was not involved in the lawsuit, and I was asked to get in the lawsuit, but because I was not involved in the lawsuit, I and my account, Ocean or Lake, was the vehicle that was used to post derogatory things about you. So I was sent things to post about you because they could not. Are you there, John? Hello, everyone. I don't know.
I'm here. I'm sorry. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It wouldn't be alive without me having connection issues. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, I mean, that's how that's how I was involved and that's how I was connected. So I think when you were frozen, I looked at the chat and I think people were asking to explain who I am. So anyway, I don't know what to say about that. I think I'm Shelly Kelly and my account is Ocean Lake and Ocean or Lake, and my account I posted many derogatory things about John, and that's how I was connected with Phil and Jen, because they felt they couldn't because they were involved in this lawsuit. Does that clear
Okay, so
everything up?
you've had I know you said you didn't but you've had a conversation with Lita. You've had and it seems like Phil, Jen, and this Amber Sherrington are the three people you spoke to the most. Was there anybody also included in the lawsuit against me that you had ever spoken to?
Was there anybody that what?
Was there anybody else that was also included in this ridiculous lawsuit against me that you ever spoken to?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, those are that are in the lawsuit. Yeah, those are the only ones.
Okay, but then there was a group chat. Can you explain the group chat and who was in that and what was going on?
Well, the group chat was, there was Tim in it, and
Tim is Home Depot's husband.
Yes. Yeah. And I think Mass Deal, Nicole was in it.
Oh, so Nicole Mastiel, who has also been on the panel harassing me, she was also included. Okay.
Yes. And then
Brooke?
I don't know Brooke's handle. I don't know if she was in there.
She's 90 Days on Blast?
Yeah, but she never was commenting in that group chat. She must have been a spectator, just like Tim in the group chat was never really commenting. He was just obviously just included and he was watching.
Okay. And then obviously Jen was in there. Anybody else, like any other side people that we should know about?
There was different handles in there, different IG, accounts or whatever, but I don't know who they all were. There was I think there's 10 of them. I don't know, but I don't know who they all were, because the only people that were engaging in that group chat was me, Phil, and Jen.
Okay. Let's get into some things that happened recently. Let's talk about the package that I got on my door, because that's important. And just to give you guys background, last week I received a package on my door. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. And I went live about it, and it was tampons and pads and Miralax, just stuff I've talked about online in the past. And it was really weird and creepy. And the next day I got another, and then I said I was going to a funeral. The next day that was delivered to my door was a box of tissues. And people thought either I was crazy and I was making, here's a thing to everybody. And I said this earlier on my IG live. You don't know what these people have been doing to us for the last 2 years, year and a half. I mean, they say they're the ones being harassed, but yet they're the ones plotting behind the scenes, doing everything. And the stuff I posted today on my IG, me reading it, I knew what was happening. I knew these people were fucking with us, but to see it printed out and planned and receipts is another thing. And, obviously the people believe me. Then the naysayers are doing oh, whatever he's doing. I don't have to do any of this for attention. My channel's been doing great. I've been having great interviews. We've been having fun recapping shows. I have great moderators, great panelists. I don't need to thrive on other people's drama, or especially this drama, to make myself popular. When I have real connections and I have this and I have that. The absolute last thing I want to fucking do, to be honest with everybody, is talk about this weird stuff. Because I know that people follow me for 90 Day or Housewives or Sister Wives or whatever show you follow me for. And that's the stuff I want to focus on.
Right. No, I understand that, and I understand the scare. So you want to talk about how that all started, and how that all started was that I got a message, which I mean everybody saw, I guess, your post.
Yeah.
So I got a message, saying that this was going to be a fun project somewhere along the lines.
And this is planned on Father's Day, mind you. This is how good this is. But go ahead.
Yeah. So I was told that Amber wanted to do this. So it was Amber, Phil, and Jen. Jen Jen was feuding with Phil, and apparently so was Amber. So Jen and Amber wanted to, and this is all through Jen allegedly talking about this Amber Sheraton, that they wanted to, send this package to you. So I guess the idea was talked about between all three of them, or somehow, I don't know. But all of a sudden, it ended up that I got a message saying there's a sense of urgency. We need to get this done, because they wanted to have the package. Amber and Jen wanted to have the package sent, and they needed me to send it and do it because they couldn't have it in their name. Obviously, you saw the screenshots of that. But there was a sense of urgency, so that they could get theirs. But it ended up being that Phil ended up getting his there first. And then the package that I sent with their list, they sent me the list. And then Jen gave me your address.
I'm listening. I'm listening with disgust. I'm shaking my head, not at you, just at these people.
And then Jen said that she said that Amber Sherrington would pay for, go in and pay for more than a third. So anyway, so Jen ended up Venmoing me the money to pay for this. So that's how all that happened. Oh, and then before the order, I mean, it was like trying to figure out, trying to get online and do the order, and then Jen sent me the money. Right after that, Jen sent me a message saying, "Oh, Amber alleged. This is what she told me. Okay, that this Sherrington was like, oh, we need to add a drug test to this, and that she would pay for it all. That she want so after I had already made the order." I had gotten a message from Jen that Amber was like, "Oh, we need to add a drug test to this, so you need to change the order." And I was like, "Oh my God, I've already been through this. I'm tired. I'm not doing it." And then Jen said, "Okay, I agree. Yeah, we spent all day on this. Whatever, we're not doing it." And so that was that. But yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, so they sent it to you. They sent you the money, and you had to do the order. And it was it via Instacart?
Yeah, it was, and I can send you that the screenshot of that. It was through something ACME, like Rite Aid or whatever. And
Rite Aid. It came in a Rite Aid bag.
Yeah. And then from what I understood, and then it was delivered by a delivery guy. That's what I was understanding. Now, if they had something else like planned for somebody delivering it, I'm not aware of, but it was, from what I understood, it was delivered with a delivery man. And I've got messages, between Jen and I where people were commenting, like when you were saying, "Oh, we need to get the license plates of the person that delivered it and cameras and all of that." Well, then there was messages between Jen and I that, she was like, oh, okay, how are they gonna, get the license plates of the delivery man? So my point in all this is that that's from what I understand, that a delivery person from this Instacart or whatever is the person that delivered it, not somebody, not some private, individual or any of that. That's
And you
what I understand.
you had said that Phil, they were competing with each other because I don't
Yes.
know. I don't think we touched on this yet, but there's a million cracks in this team of harassers. With they all can't stand each other, it seems, and we'll
Yeah.
get into that in a second. So each of these people, each of these co-plaintiffs on this lawsuit against me and Sherelle, are now at war with each other on who can harass John the best. And that's one of the things I posted on my Instagram. So they were trying to get the jump on Phil Yahoo's package because they wanted to fuck with me first before
Yes.
Phil's package came here. So I got two packages, theirs and his.
Right, because the reason is that there was a lot of back and forth. I mean, they've always, I mean, especially between Jen and Phil. And so as a result, Amber was getting an earful. I mean, Jen was running to Amber and saying, Lydia's doing this because Jen felt that Lydia was doing things behind her back and posting some stuff on Reddit. And I mean, that's a whole different story. So as a result, it was ongoing. So there was times where Amber would block Jen. This is what Jen told me in messages. And then she would, times where she got into a fight with Lydia. So Lydia, and Jen, from my understanding and from the messages that Jen communicated with me, have not been on good terms in a while. So there was that issue. So then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I don't know what transpired. Amber apparently, obviously, unblocked Jen. And the whole deal was that, is that Jen was really infuriated or bothered by the fact that Phil is so close to Lydia and Eric. And so Jen felt that everything that was, anytime she had a complaint about Lydia and she would go to Phil would never have Jen's back. Like he would never, stand up for her. And so as a result, that created friction between that relationship. And so there was that. So Phil is a diehard for this is messages from Jen that sent to me saying this. Phil and I never talked about Jen. Jen was my friend. I was very loyal to Jen. So anytime Jen said anything about Phil or, venting or whatever controversy they had, I never shared that with Phil. So Phil and I never discussed Jen. Jen would just discuss these things and her falling out and her feelings with Phil. But as she would go, so then she would go to Amber and say, look, so the last bit of it was that I guess she finally convinced Amber that Phil indeed was there's a message I've got that he was clouded, or Phil was couldn't his judgment was off about Lydia and Eric because he was just so up their butt. So there was all that going.
Okay, so pretty much, and I know how Jen was. I know how she could be. Did she send you about 800 texts a day about this person, and then she would probably send you a block list with 20 names you needed to block? And then she would say, this person's John, that person's John, this person's John, that person's John's relative. And it was a nonstop cycle because that's what she used to do to me and my friends when we were friends with her.
Yes, it was basically whatever she was doing with you in terms of sending you that and doing the research on people. She called it her skill, that she had skills And she was very proud of it, that she was skilled. And she would get upset actually with Lydia and Phil, and she'd say, you know, they don't appreciate my skills and my contribution. You know, so, oh, there was an instance where Jen was trying to capture your IP address in terms of where you lived.
Oh,
And yeah, so there was that. And so this is kind of funny. So Jen thought for sure she knew where you lived. This is where the whole garage apartment, the garage thing, and the address and all of that stuff was happening.
was that when they still thought I lived in New York?
Yeah. So this is what happened. So when that was all happening, Jen was totally convinced and told Lydia and Phil, you know, this is definitely his address. This is where it's at. And then you did that live, you know, showing and proving that wasn't your address, you know, when you did all the.
Yeah, no, I remember, because they all said I was living in Lindenhurst. I said that was an address I had 5 years ago. And I had to show, because you know, everyone was posting, oh, and I'm not going to say the address, but you know, like John's living in this garage apartment in this address. And I go, here are all my old bank statements and my car title, everything that was.
Yes. Well, as a result of that, Lydia was so mad that Jen had the wrong address. So Lydia came after Jen and was like, you have the wrong address. You don't know what you're talking about. And then Jen was like, no, I do. It is the right address. And so anyway, there was a big feud about that. There was a big feud because Jen was
because Lita went on the record saying she backed it up. She went on the record, and I had the proof. This is after, mind you, that Lita got a restraining order against me for harassment, right? But she's all a part of this, mind you. But then she's posting what she thinks is that is my address, but it wasn't. And so now I can see why she was mad, because she put herself out there on the line, and she was wrong.
Yes. So it did create controversy between all of them with that. So that's just an example of a scenario that with the discord that has been going on between them.
I'm sorry, I can't, like, I kept
so
this glare on my face. I can't get rid of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the sun's going down here. But that, as a result of that. And then Lewis, that was on the panel.
Another one of Lita's panelists.
Well, Jen hates him. Absolutely thinks she despises him, and I think the feeling is mutual with him. And so he pretty much was sick of her conspiracy theories and sending stuff and blaming people. And so there was a time where, you know, Jen thought for sure she knew. She thought it was Lydia and Lewis on Reddit. So there was a post that Jen did recently, you know, that said the Home Depot Jen, and it was like a big long novel message that Jen did, and she was like,
okay, she's always innocent. She's a victim.
Well,
right.
It was a deal where, that just happened like last week, I think, where she wrote that whole big thing saying, I know who it is, and you know, whatever. And so she was messaging me saying, I'm gonna call them out. I'm gonna call them out. I've got to do it. I can't help it. So anyway, I'm just saying that there was a lot of discord with that group. And Lydia decided to, and this is all according to Jen, Lydia decided to distance herself from Jen and block her, and they blocked each other.
Okay, so now we know the story behind the packages. A couple things. Oh my God, someone's trying to break into my account right now. That's wonderful. Boy, they are really shitting bricks right now. I just got a text from Google saying someone's trying to hack into my account.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Okay.
Sorry, all my alerts are going off right now because I'm trying to break into my account. Did I kind of my train of thought kind of went off a little bit on that one. Okay, so hold on. I want to talk about some of the stuff I posted today. Obviously, we talked about the package that we just said, and the proof. Then we have, I posted. I posted a screenshot of Jen saying, okay, so Amber is hoping that we can get the order today, deliver soon, because Yahoo is working against us now and competing. So it's very clear that they are at war with each other, trying to harass me more, which I don't even know. And meanwhile, while they have a federal lawsuit out against me.
Yeah, it's just so weird. And then Amber, that her involvement with it, it's just weird. I mean, she's jacked in the head. I don't even understand. I mean, I don't even understand why she's inserting herself. I don't get that as a legal assistant. And I would think that would be a big red flag not to get in a lawsuit where she's representing you, because obviously for someone to be blocking you because she's pissed and you're supposed to be her client and she's getting so personal and then she's involved in all this other stuff. I mean, that's freaking bizarre. I mean, if you're a legal representative and you're doing all, I mean, why would you want somebody to represent you that demonstrates that kind of behavior? I don't get
and for people who weren't on Instagram, or like my Twitter followers who are watching right now, because I only posted this stuff on Instagram, I don't really talk about this stuff on Twitter. But in Jen's words, okay, so Amber's hoping we can get the order today, obviously the order, because Yahoo is working against us now, competing. So they're both competing. They send packages to my house to fuck with us. That's number one. He and Lita are all about taking over. They stopped Drazo. Now, Drazo was the stepbrother that my estranged stepbrother, who I met twice in my life, that they dragged on their channel. They stopped Drazo from communicating with her after she paid for his StreamYard. So Amber Sherrington, who is working for Joe Amarillo, whatever the fuck his name is, paid for my stepbrother's StreamYard so he can go live and talk shit about me when he didn't even fucking know me. How's that? Amber Sherrington paid for that. Hold on, let me acknowledge it. And this is the legal assistant of Joe Amarillo. Christina, I feel so bad for you, Johnny. People. Thank you, Christina. That was very generous. Thank you. This is the legal assistant of Joe Amarillo, the attorney that Jihoon fired for unethical practices. And I can put those screenshots back up on IG if you want to see it. Jihoon, they all tired Jihoon out. They pulled the same shit with Jihoon that they're pulling with me now. Okay? And then she continues to say they're under Lita and Yahoo's command now, meaning my stepbrother. Then I guess you reply, no way, they are unreal. And then Jen replies, yup, it's war now, I think. It's war now between her and the co-plaintiffs to harass me more than they already are.
Yes.
Like, this is why I've had such a rough day, because, like, this is I knew that these people were crazy, but, like, this is, like, and I know how badly Jen has been trying to screw with me and Cody, but this is next level, like, crazy crap. So now Jen's waging war on the rest of her co-plaintiffs. And then Jen replies, he's going to end up getting booted from the suit if he doesn't quit. Like, she's threatening to get Yahoo booted off the suit because he's not agreeing with her.
Yes.
And then because, Amber paid for Drazo, so he and his platform. So Jen's thinking is that, allegedly, is that since her and Amber Sherrington paid for my stepbrother's platform, that they owned him. I mean, right or wrong? Aww.
Yeah, and then there was a big feud about, between, this is crazy too, between I guess Lydia and Phil. They were all fighting to get, because they wanted Drazo to go, to stay live and to continue lives. They wanted it to be like a regular thing. So Lydia was totally all up your stepbrother's butt, all up Drazo's butt.
Oh, so Lita, who had to get a restraining order against me, who hasn't shut up about me since the day she's got it, Lita, who went like this, haha, I could talk about you, but you can't talk about me, has been actively searching out my relatives and talking about me all the time. So much so that she was wanting to have my stepbrother, who I've only met twice in my life, be an active panelist on her page. Is that what I just heard?
I mean, yes, and it was in the comments too. I mean, she was encouraging him, and she was like, hey, Ken, you should do this on a weekly, on a weekly basis. So there was a big deal about that, about who was actually going to be controlling, the Drazo, like who Drazo was going to talk to. There was, which panel is Drazo going to do and what is he going to do? And because basically, as a result, Jen was like, oh, Drazo's just going to go on his own. So there was a big feud about, was Drazo going to go, weekly and just go on, do it on his own? Or was he going to go over and be a panelist with Lydia and Phil? Does that make sense? So there was a big, thing about that. And then obviously, I don't know what happened. I mean, obviously it disappeared, or Drazo, I don't know what happened as a result of that. I mean, I haven't seen him, and then he went, he's gone, but I don't know why. There was no further discussion in terms, with me or Jen or Phil about in terms of like why Drazo went or what happened with that. But yes, that did occur.
Trying really hard to keep it together at the moment. Okay, so they were planning on using my sister and my brother, although they went on Yahoo's platform saying, we just want to get our story out. It's just a one and done. But the next day, they're promoting their YouTube channels.
Right.
Okay. And I watched live. I was in both those chats with my sister and my stepbrother, and on both their pages watching. But these people who are saying I'm the one harassing them are stopping at nothing to put me in a grave, pretty much.
Well, I mean, that was the intent. I mean, the whole thing was just to, and that was the whole intent. Oh, let's talk about the change.org. That was another intent because, was to, poke the bear. That was the whole, and I did the change.org. I was asked to do the change.org. It was sent to me via email and post it. And so I did it. And I don't even think it was up for a day. I closed it because I was feeling like something was going on in terms of Phil. Things I had a gut feeling something was going on. So I started. So what I did is that I went to my page and I cleared everything off about you. Like I took everything off my page. And I did that because I was trying to find out if Phil was going to get a reaction, like if he was going to ask me like, why are you doing this? Or what was going on? And then I went and shut down the change.org, which of course I got lashed back on, but I went and shut that down. And then told Jen that the reason why I did that is that I thought it was stupid. And then Lydia with Eric, and I went in the comments and I wanted to let her know because Eric had responded in the change.org. He was like, in the comments of the change.org, he was like, I think this is stupid and worthless and whatever. So as a result of Eric's comment, I reached out to Lydia via her on the YouTube. I made a comment like, yeah, this is stupid. I just want you to know I shut it down. So, yeah.
And I think that was one of the last straws for you, right? After that, well, that was like the straw that broke the camel back, right? Because once you know, Yahoo sent you the email. Can you give me tissues, please?
Yeah.
Yahoo sent you the email for you to write. They want to keep their hands clean. So just like Jen sent you the money and the grocery list for the tampons and all that stuff for you to do, because they had to keep their hands clean because they're in a federal lawsuit. So Yahoo had to do the same thing by sending you the whole email on what to write to do that stupid change.org thing.
Well, and crazy too, when they would send this to me, I sent you a message that showed where Jen said, we're in the lawsuit, so we can't do it. So, would you please do this? So, yes, I mean, that's exactly what was happening. Yeah, that's what's happening.
It's just like, nobody believed me. Like, give me a second.
Oh boy. Stop it, Betty. This is so bad.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's a lot.
I know. I know I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
These are the people that are suing Dean and Sherelle for harassment. And there was just like this bullshit lawsuit was just like another form of harassment. To just bury us. And when you see it spelled out, and I've gotten so much shit.
How do you feel now? Don't you? Now that you're validated, don't you? Does it make you feel better that you're not crazy and that you don't feel crazy and now people know the truth? Now people know that you did not send this, the stuff to yourself. There's that. You don't live in a garage. There's that.
Oh yeah, everyone's saying I live in a garage. Well, me and Cody live in a garage in the back of somebody's house. Yeah, that was a fun one.
So that's been cleared up now, right? You do live in a house, and by the way, it is a great location. We talked about that. Y'all are doing
well. Yeah,
location.
I live a block away from the beach, so
it's really badass. Your location is really cool. So anyway, with that being said, there's a lot of good. You and I have squashed things. Moving forward, like I said. When I woke up, and I got that message that you had done that live, and then I watched it. I can't even. I was like, this needs to stop. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, immediately I was like, oh, this, I need to nip this in the bud. I know it's going to happen, and I don't want to do this, and I'm done. And because that was the first time you had brought my name up. You know what I'm saying? You hadn't brought my name up. So that was the first time.
I'm not dropping the link, guys. This is just me and Shelly right now. I know people want me to, this is about me. This is our live, and so hold on. There's more to say. I have a lot. There's a lot more. So then in this group, what?
I'm sorry. I'm just sorry that all this is going on. I know this is a lot, and I'm just grateful that you and I have cleared this up, and that and I hope that this lawsuit just goes away. I hope it goes away and stops, because Phil is definitely not innocent, obviously. And Phil has been doing this, and Phil has been, you know, he's been doing research. I mean, he found, you know, your bank records, whatever else, that other, you know, case, whatever police report that was from years ago. I don't know how, you know, that he sent me. So anyway,
Well, he's a private investigator.
it's a lot.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know how anybody could have gotten our address because honestly, we don't have any mail or bills that come to our house. Only 5 people in the world knew our address. You know, and those people were not going to screw me over.
Right.
I don't know how that came. You know,
I don't
we didn't.
either. I mean, you know, it was sent to me. Your address was given to me by Jen.
She was passing my address around.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, there's that. So that's scary. But there's stuff I want to. So then there's another thing in this group chat that go ahead and smoke, Shell, if you want. Go ahead. I'm smoking. So if you want to light up a cigarette, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Hey, it's a rough live. So, you know, then Yahoo in this group chat is saying that he wants to get my former landlord on a live with him.
Yes. I mean, there was a plan for that. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, he said that he got in touch with Michael Haggerty, the landlord, and that he had agreed to go live with Phil, and Phil was all excited about it and said it was going to happen on this Wednesday, and it never came to fruition. It never happened. And then apparently he was Haggerty was apparently not responding, ignoring the calls. So he then asked Jen to reach out to Haggerty to try to convince him to do this live. And again, it didn't pan out. So there's that.
Okay. And then when in this group chat, Yahoo Phil writes, if I can get his former landlord on, he would spiral out of control.
Yeah.
And these are people suing me for harassment. Keep that in fucking mind. And then obviously that's the email he sent you to write. Then, you know, Jen in this, I guess her and Kins have this group chat. I don't care if I said Kins because I know who the fuck she is. Cody knows who she is. She's somebody who doesn't want to get involved, but she's always Karen. She's always got whose husband is a cop, mind you, which that's crazy. But she's always got her nose and everything. So Jen texts you in this group chat with Jen, Karen, Kins, and you. Oh, by the way, so the team is tightened up. It's me, Amber Sherrington, Nurse Brooke. Hey, Brooke. Hey, Nurse Brooke. This Nurse Brooke that's always innocent, who's always doing everything right. Hey, Nurse Brooke. And Jen's husband, Tim. And no one else.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you.
And in that post in the green, that's me responding. I'm the green. I said, what did I say? I said, what are you talking about? The lawsuit?
Team on what? And you said lawsuit? And then Jen writes, yes, basically, and for revenge.
Yeah. And that was the revenge. That's what she's talking about. Revenge was because of Phil. It was revenge against Phil. They were trying to boot Phil out of the lawsuit. That's what that was about.
Let me tell you something about Jen. When I was there, when I was friends with her, she would try and alienate me from everybody I was friends with because she couldn't stand not being top dog. When I was there, and you know how aggressive she is with the text, she would send me hundreds of texts, block this person, and just to shut her up, I would do it. And Ellie's in the chat, and she was a victim of that because she made me believe Ellie, who has always been good to me, was my mortal enemy, sending me screenshots and block lists of all these people that I needed to block because
She was the one that called Lita when we were supposed to meet her that day.
Oh, let's talk about that. So that's number one. She couldn't stand that she wanted to be top dog, head hag, whatever you want to call it. And she could not stand any relationship I have with anybody else. Go ahead.
She wanted to produce you and Cody.
Oh, wait. Oh, let's talk about that. So tell everybody the background on that.
Okay. So
why she took me in and you know what we talked about last night.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'll try to be real quick about this. So obviously, I had problems with Jen initially because I was aware that she was one of the ones when I had a falling out with John, that she was one of the ones that was coming after me really hard, you know, and so when she broke away from John and decided to, you know, do this, you know, Victims for Yates, her and I reconnected. But we did have it was kind of a rough road at the beginning because I was like, why are you doing this? And why would you even invite them if, you know, if you felt like they were such, you know, big assholes? So basically what it came to is that she said that she really thought that she could improve John and Cody in terms of their looks and their brand, and how they acted and what they did. So she in her mind, she wanted to improve them and work on them and produce them, and that was the purpose of having them up there. And then Tim, her husband, you know, wanted to do this website, which was in her name, which she made it very clear it was in her name so that she could control it and that she paid for it. But John did not. This is what Jen told me, that John didn't have any control over the website. It was all under Jen.
And what have I said, guys, for the last years? I never had I could not log into that website. I had no power over it. We never saw any money from it. Nothing. Zero.
Yeah.
And also, just to let you know, that when I was there, you know, Tim wanted to be my business manager. He wanted to be my agent. He was going to take a cut of whatever money I made.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like, you know, that you know, so it to me, it's like the expectations were that you were going to be a stream of income for them.
Yeah. Because remember when we were watching New Jersey and it was the episode of when Danielle pulled Margaret's hair, and Margaret called me the second the episode stopped, and we were all watching it, and he's like, wait a minute. He's like, Margaret from the show just called you on the phone? And I said, yeah. My friend. And he's like, and like you could see like the dollar signs in his pupils.
He said, "Can you see if you can get that in text so that way I could put it on the website? That way, you know, you can make some money off of this and blah 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 blah." Like it was all fucking. It was sloppy, and like they're users. They're crazy users.
So he was going to be my agent because he had a master's degree, master's in business or some shit like that, and he wanted to be my agent. So he could. And like I said, that website never had any power on it. Didn't know how to upload it. Didn't know how to access it. Never had a password to it. Nothing. All he had.
Make that real clear to me. Yeah. Well, then when she had the falling out with you, that she wanted to use that website as a way to expose you, you know, your wrongdoings and, you know, all of that stuff. No. Yeah, she told me that you had no control of it and that she paid for it and all of that, and that Tim created it. And yeah.
Well, here's the thing. When I lost my first account on Instagram, 2 years ago, when I had the 65,000 followers and I lost that account,
yeah,
I was done. Once I lost it, I'm like, well, that's it. Game over. You know, I'm not going to start over. And she was like, but no, we just made this website. I'm like, I am not starting from scratch again after I lost my account. It's not happening. And she like forced me into it by saying, well, how could you do that to me and Tim after we just did this website for you? I'm like, but I never asked you to make I never asked you to make a website. Not once ever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell her about the Lita thing where she called.
Oh, okay. And going back to, you know, how Jen wanted to alienate me from all my friends and make sure that she was top dog. Even, you know, when we're there, it was in, you know, she told us that she lived in Chicago. Meanwhile, it was like asshole Bend, Indiana, like an hour and a half away. She, you know, Lita was supposed to meet with, Lita was supposed to meet with us. I think it was Christmas Eve. And at that time, me and Lita were very good friends. And, you know, we had never lived close to each other. So on Christmas Eve, Lita was supposed to drive down to Chicago. And then we were supposed to, you know, because she's in Wisconsin, we were supposed to meet them there. And when we woke up Christmas Eve morning, we got dressed. We were excited. And Jen told us that Lita had called her and canceled it. Meanwhile, that never happened. Jen didn't want the meeting to happen.
Jen called
Oh, I
Lita.
believe that.
Jen called Lita. This is what Jen said. She called Lita and told her, you know, that we were, you know, we're excited, we're going to be coming, blah, blah, blah. And then Lita was the one that said, oh, well, no, I can't make it. But then later on, we found out that, and this was when John was friends still with Lita and them actually brought it up somehow. And she was like, well, Jen called me and said that you guys were too nervous and that you guys wanted to cancel.
Oh my
God. Meanwhile, it was Jen that called her and canceled it. And we had no idea.
We were actually excited to meet her because me and Lita
we were all dressed.
We got
dressed. Everybody was dressed, ready to go, and she said, "Oh well, Lita called or she texted me or something like that, messaged me, whatever, and said that she can't make it due to some reason." And so we're like, "Okay, well that sucks." And then later on, it came up in a conversation with John and Lita, and Lita's like, "Well, you guys canceled on me," and John's like, "Wait, no, you the one that told Jen that you couldn't make it." And she goes, "No, Jen was the one that called me and said that you guys didn't want to come out here." She goes, "So I never went because you guys canceled on me." And we're like, "No, we didn't."
To the person asking who sent the cops to my house, I have no idea. You know,
I think I have an idea. I've got.
Oh, who is it?
But I think I've got an idea.
Because I know that Janelle Evans was on, I think, Brooke and Laura's live the other night because Laura had to throw her hat into the ring. And in the comments, Janelle Evans, whatever the fuck her name is, says, I think John needs another welfare check. Do you have any?
I know that I got a message like right before that. I got a message from Phil and he was like, get ready. There's going to be a meltdown or something. I'll send you that message. I need to look through it. And something's about to happen. And I was like, what's about to happen? And then I got a message from, hang on. I got a message from what Amber, and saying it was something. Anyway, I have to look through it, but it was something to the fact that that the police were there, or hey, boom, something just happened, whatever. So I'll go back through my messages, but I feel pretty confident it had something to do with Sherrington and Bill. I mean, they knew your address. At that point, I didn't even know your address. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, Amber knew your address. Phil knew your address. Jen knew your address. So, I mean,
if the three of them knew my address, then they all fucking knew my address.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know your address until after that. And the only reason why they told me your address is because they needed me to order the stuff to come to your house. So, so there's that. I mean, Phil knew your address. Amber knew Sherrington knew your address. Jen obviously knew your address because she's the one that sent it to me. So, I mean,
All right. So next thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to keep this going, but there's like, this. I'm sorry. Are you okay? You want to keep going? It's not gonna be
Yeah,
much
we
longer.
can go
I
on for a
promise.
few more minutes.
Yeah, it's not gonna be much longer. I promise.
What's that?
Uh, then in screenshots from this group chat, Jen is doxing pictures of my best friend's kid and the school he went to, and he's a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah. That was can I mention your friend's last name?
Don't say her last name, please.
What?
Don't
Okay,
say her last name.
Okay, what do I say? Nothing.
One of my very good friends.
Yes, we'll say that. What have you that you're very close to? Jen definitely had an issue with, and was trying to get the group in the lawsuit to also sue this person.
And they're all about like children and no doxing, but here you are in a group chat with 10 lunatics with minor kids picture in school. So there's that. Then we have the messages that Yahoo was saying that I wrote my mom's suicide note. Do you have any insight as to why about him bringing my sister on? Like, I know we kind of touched on it earlier, but or did you hear anything about him from the fallout after that live with my sister and my stepbrother backfired? No. Did Jen say anything to you about it backfiring?
Nope.
So they all had their tails between their legs.
Yeah, nobody said. In fact, and there was nothing communicated to me about why all of a sudden he dropped off. Like, it was communicated to me, like I said, that there was that that Jen did say she that Phil and Lydia really wanted him to go on the regular. I've already spoke about all that a minute ago, but anyway, and after that was the only discussion. There was nothing else communicated to me as far as why everything, why Drazo is no longer around. I don't know, and they never told me. They probably know about, but I was never included in that conversation.
Okay. Because I kind of want to wrap this up soon. I just want to make sure I cover all the bases because I don't want to talk about this again. What about can we talk about Christy Memes being Johnny Crack?
Well, yeah. I mean, that was, so the situation with that was, I'll tell you a scenario with that, is that Jen is absolutely convinced that Johnny Crack is Christy Memes. And one of the reasons why is that, well, Christy is very, very close to Lydia. They're tight friends. That's what Jen indicated to me. She messaged me and said that one of the reasons why she felt that Christy was Johnny Crack is because Jen saw conversations or posts or whatever that she would tell Lydia, and she felt that was, that Johnny Crack was, reposting things, these conversations or hints. And so anyway, as a result, Jen felt like Johnny Crack was Christy. So Jen would go to Phil. There was a big kind of disagreement about that. Jen went to Phil and was like, I know for a fact that, Johnny Crack is Christy Memes. And then Phil would say, no, it's this person named Lauren. And then Lydia would also tell Jen, it's this person named Lauren. And Jen felt that the reason why that Phil and Lydia were so, wanting Jen to believe that it was Lauren was to get Jen off the scent, try to get Jen away and to protect
Devin, don't leave. Devin, I'm sorry. Devin, don't go. Stay, please. Sorry, go ahead.
That's that so anyway, to protect so because Phil and Lydia are tight and Christy and Lydia are tight, they were trying to protect Christy's identity by telling, Jen, no, that, it's that Christy is not Johnny, Johnny Crack, it's really Lauren. But then I got a message to post something about Christy when she was asking, that Party City Wigs actually posted it, saying that it was showing that Christy was asking money for the GoFundMe and all of that stuff or whatever. And so Phil had also sent me that to post. And then in the question I asked, I said, well, who is this? And he said, Christy Memes. And I said, what is her IG handle? And he said, it's 90 Day Fiance Gossip. So anyway, that's how that all came about. But yeah, so
and just so you know, Christy Memes was somebody I'd been friends with for years.
Yeah.
And was like, as she said, my ride or die. And, Christy Memes, and I haven't heard from Christy probably since January. I don't fucking know. It's been a long time. And Christy was also friends, when Lita and Yahoo and Christy asked me to turn on Devin and Larissa, I wouldn't. Because they said, well, we've always had your back and you don't have mine. I'm like, it's not that I don't have your back. It's just that, like, we're adults and I don't agree with that. And I'm going to continue to support Devin and Larissa. And, it only makes sense. And I just really can't believe Christy Memes would do that to me.
She wanted us to actually, when
move
we
by
were
her.
about to move out of the hotel and get our place, she was like, why don't you think about coming over here? And there's so many houses over here. You can have like a farm and this and that. Why don't you move out here by me so that way we could all be close and it would be so much fun for you guys. And we actually considered it, but then we were like, no, because that's not going to be.
I'm only happy listen, I've lived in Florida. I lived, in a few places. We tried Nebraska but I've always been happiest like when I'm close to home. So, Cody never really liked Florida. Cody's from Florida. So when we came up here, he was happy to leave. And it is what it is.
I know it's a lot. I mean, I know you're talking and you're processing, and I understand that and I get it. And, obviously, you and I could stay in touch and, again, I hope that this brings you, I know it's a crazy time, but I do hope this brings you some peace. It's brought me some peace knowing that, I'm done with, I'm glad that I don't feel hate towards you anymore. I'm thankful for that.
Likewise.
I'm thankful for the opportunity that we were able to talk. it should have happened, years ago. So, and I'm sorry for my part. I apologize for the things.
And I apologize. Listen, we're good. And like, honestly, when I called you earlier because I was upset and like, who in a million years ever think that like I'd be calling you on the phone and venting,
I know. And I'm still like, oh my God, what just like John and I are actually talking, and I know everybody's flipping out on that and whatever, and they don't understand. And if they don't understand, it's whatever. But yeah. So here we are. So if anybody is ever trolling you on your live and say they're me, it's not me. And you know that, so you know that I will be truthful with you. If there's anything else that you need or you have any questions, you've got my number. We'll stay in communication.
Yes, absolutely. And like I feel like, welcome back to the light.
Yeah.
But a couple more things. Okay, so it was clear that Jen was obsessed because obviously she's posting pictures of how she had to find Cody's ex-boyfriend from 15 years ago. Me and Cody have been together since 2008 and married since 2011. So, she's really working hard. And I'm just going to try and I don't want to keep this going much longer. I'm just trying to make sure I've said everything. Oh, Then Jen writes, my husband is sketchy mother MFer. Apparently he's been creating a site on the side without telling me, and Amber Sherrington thinks he's an evil genius. Bullied by a blogger, set up like a TV series. It's wild.
Yeah.
And I always thought that
know-
Tim, her husband, was a good guy and completely complicit in all it.
Yeah.
And he works for a major university where he's part of a group chat where people are doxing my friends' minor children and the schools they go to. So let that sink in. Think of major universities in that greater area where they live. One of the biggest ones, if not the biggest. And he's a part of a group chat where they're doxing my friends' minor kids and the schools they go to. So let that sink in for a second.
That sounds creepy to me.
And I don't want to keep this going, but I just want to say, Shelly, from the bottom of my heart and from Cody's heart too,
100%.
thank you so fucking much. Like, thank
I have
you.
full respect for you.
Like, and everybody in my
Full
chat,
respect.
and anybody who knows, like, I hope that you support Shelly, and because she was very brave, because we know how sick these people are and what they do behind the scenes, and for her to come to me and show all this proof, you know, she's putting herself at risk. So, I mean, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome,
I
John.
can't. I can thank you a million times, and it wouldn't be enough. So thank
Trillion
you.
to the moon and back again and back again and back again. Infinity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And
welcome.
like I said earlier, what?
Yes.
Go ahead. Go.
I'm just saying that I just hope it brings you guys some peace, that you know that you're not crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that the validation does give you. I mean, I know it's hard. I'm sure, you know, obviously it's upsetting when you realize. I was very upset when when you realize so many people are after you and whatever. But I do hope that me coming to you doesn't just create chaos, but it also that it brings some peace to y'all. You know.
Thank you.
And like I said before, like, you know, what I posted, like I said, I wasn't going to show my whole hand, but what I've seen today. I was speaking on the phone with Joe earlier. I was throwing up, or like, you know, and then I was speaking on the phone with Julie, and I was throwing up. And I was speaking on the phone with my other friend. I was throwing up. Like, my nerves have been in my throat. It's a lot to process. You know, and that's what I posted is just like a little skosh of what we have. And like I said on IG Live earlier, I had enough evidence prior to this awakening. But I'm telling you guys right now, if this lawsuit isn't dropped, I will be coming at you in a countersuit with the veracity of like 1,000 cheetahs storming. And I will make sure that I have liens on all your twice mortgage houses, because I know what you're working with, and it ain't much. Okay? Like, I'm telling you. And like, don't think for 1 second that I am not speaking to detectives and attorneys and police about this stuff right now, because y'all thought John has no money, John lives in a garage, John doesn't have this, John doesn't have that. Y'all,
you don't know me.
Now, wait for it, because I am going to go ape shit. So y'all better, I'm just saying, I am done with this bullshit, and now I have all the fucking proof in the world.
Well, you take care, John. I'm going to cut out. But, you know, thank you for having me, and I'm glad that we talked.
Thank you for being on.
You're welcome. And if there's, you know, like I said, we'll be in touch.
All right, everybody have a good night. Shelly, thank you so much. My moderators who did
Y'all have
amazing. Good night, babe.
Good night, y'all.
Bye, sweetie.
My moderator, you want me to bump you out? Okay, she's gone. My moderators who are always working overtime. Thank you. The super chat. I know I missed a lot of super chats tonight, and I'm sorry. But like, it was, you know, I didn't want to cut out, you know, and stop a chat. So thank you for the super chats. Thank you guys, everybody. And that's it for tonight. I think I might be going on Sherelle's channel in a bit. So that's it. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.